Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Doing well. How you doing?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining me this morning here at iFinance Mortgage, our production studios. Always excited to have new guests. And Michael, we've known each other for quite a while now through the Mission Viejo Chamber of Commerce, and we've served on the board together. We still do. And I've always been curious to see and learn a little bit more about your business. And for those that will be listening here too, I think it'll be really good to see as a entrepreneur, what things you've done to navigate through these interesting times that we've had, not only with the pandemic that hit us all, but just through the market and the financial times that we're dealing with. So, and Michael, your business is Compunet Technologies.
Correct.
And just if you could tell us a little bit about your business, and we'll dive into maybe some of the specialty areas that you handle, that'd be great.
Sure. So we're what's called a managed IT service provider, and I kind of emphasize the word managed because we just don't want to sell. Oh, here's some equipment, here's some software, and now fend for yourself. That we come alongside the businesses and we help manage that technology, especially when it comes to security, of just, managing their security for them, actually have live people monitoring their systems to ensure that if something happens that we're immediately able to respond to it. So it's a much more proactive approach to IT management. So we're not just sitting around waiting for people to call and,
911.
Right.
Help.
That it's like we can see things as they happen and say, hey, we're proactively fixing these in the background. You may not even know about it because we're proactively, monitoring and managing your network and your computers.
Got it. So, if I have a computer issue, it's more than just, take it to your local computer store, they try to fix it. We're talking about a whole IT management program for your company. And do you focus mainly on larger companies or small businesses or solopreneurs, or where's kind of the sweet spot for you?
Yeah, the sweet spot is probably the 10 to 30 users. Okay. We've had companies in the past that are over 50 users, but we tend to focus on like 50 and under.
Okay.
And it's more for me. I love to work with the business owner, and we noticed that when our clients started getting larger, their business needs, all of a sudden they're adding more C-level people, and so all of a sudden we found that we're working with a CFO, we're not working with the business owner, and I just really love that relationship, direct relationship, business owner to business owner. So I just made a business choice of I want to focus on the 50 and under because that's where there's a real need. A lot of IT companies, they want the big businesses. They want the 100, 200
Sure.
users. And so I think the 50 and under is kind of like the forgotten market.
Yeah.
And so, we have services all the way down to solopreneurs up to, 50 plus that will just, meet their needs of what they need for IT and technology.
Oh, that's great. And you mentioned cybersecurity, and that very word is just a little frightening to most people. Me too. What is cybersecurity? What are the threats that are out there, and what are you seeing that people are needing to be protected from?
Sure. So cybersecurity has changed, especially for calls old timers, those 40 and older. That we're used to like those 80s movies where it's this 42-year-old guy in his mom's basement and they're
Right.
sending viruses that deletes all the stuff on your computer.
Right.
And it was more for fame and recognition. Today, cyber crime is big business. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And so it's not just these, people in their mom's basement. It is people in an office and they have programmers at desks and just like a normal business would. And their whole purpose is to make money for that criminal organization. So they've kind of changed how they do things. They don't necessarily, most of the attacks aren't there to destroy your computer. They're there to collect information. They want data. And so they want to collect all your client information. They want to collect banking information. Sometimes they'll hold it for hostage and say, hey, we've encrypted, all your data, and you can have the key that unlocks it back if you pay us $10,000, $100,000. It's ransomware. Yeah. And so that's where it's changed. It's just not this traditional, oh, I have antivirus, I'm good. It's like antivirus is not even where the criminals are anymore. With viruses, they're more into stealing data and tracking you and getting your information. And so businesses need just a new mindset of how to protect themselves from cyber attacks.
Wow. And do you find yourself providing education for businesses who maybe, they've heard of the term, but they feel, we're protected. We have Norton security. We have whatever security. We're okay. Do you spend quite a bit of time in educating people on what cybersecurity actually is and how you can help prevent that?
That's a big push for me. I have a training background, done some IT training, as a trainer, and time in the military. I was a trainer. I just believe that a more educated person or a more educated client, they're a better client. And take for instance that a lot of times I'll just get an email forwarded to me from a client that says, hey, is this a phishing email? And so instead of just saying, oh, yeah, it's a phishing email and send it back to them, it's like, hey, let me tell you how to identify if this is a phishing email. And, here's 4 things that you can look at in that email to see for yourself. So now they're no longer reliant upon me. They now have the skills and the capability to say, okay, I see this okay, that's something different. Okay, I think this is a phishing email, and delete it.
Yeah, that's, wow. Well, I can see as far as educating people, like I had no clue, just the term is frightening. I know it's out there, but we walk in this office every day, we come to our desk, we do our work, we go home. Most of us don't even think about that. And so that's really amazing that you spend time educating. In fact, it gave me another idea that I think I'd like to hold a seminar here in our office, and invite as many businesses as possible, maybe even the ones in this building who deal with some very sensitive materials, and have them come in, have you do a training on how to protect their business from it, and that's a huge issue. And we talked a little bit about the challenging times financially, the market, people's businesses. We had a pandemic, and a lot of businesses suffered. Some of our dear friends even lost their businesses. Maybe you even had that happen in your circle. Mm-hmm. I know we did. And so many people have had to pivot. They've had to make some adjustments in their business practices or with their business to not only stay afloat, but then to eventually, thrive again. I'd kind of like to ask you that. What changes or adjustments or pivots in your business have you had to make to, adjust to the pandemic and financial times?
Yeah, it was, the pandemic was different for, I would say, most IT companies, in that business didn't really go down, business went up. Because we had so many people that now are working from home, so they need to get new computers for their employees. They need to get security on them. Now they're being monitored. So we did see a big influx immediately of all the people that needed to get their employees working from home, get them set up. So computer sales were, there was a lot, especially laptop sales were just major over those 2 years. And then since then, as businesses started coming back to the office, a lot of businesses then took the time to, okay, let's do refreshes of all of our technology. Since we're now bringing employees back, we want to give them newer computers, newer technology. Sure. So we've seen that change a lot. in our business, and and it's been beneficial. And now it's this year it's kind of slowed back down to like a more pre-pandemic level. The last 2.5, 3 years have just been a lot of people buying a lot of equipment, and then this year. It's been really low for us, so that our hardware sales are normally around 30% of our revenue,
Yeah.
and this year they're less than 10%. Because the businesses that bought so much technology over the last couple of years, they don't really need it this year, which is a good thing for them, because like, hey, now you have new equipment. New equipment's usually generally more secure. Your workers are more productive, so it's a benefit for those clients of ours. But for us, it's like we've noticed that hardware sales are down this year.
Yeah, interesting. And so, depending on a person's business, some businesses just spiked during this time. Other
Right.
businesses drowned.
Yeah.
And depending on what the business you are, I'm so happy to hear that yours has grown. It's it continues to flourish. And I know just from knowing you, you've done such a great job at educating us in the chamber. You manage all of our IT for the chamber as well, and you got us a great website for the chamber as well. So we appreciate that. And we appreciate the knowledge that you have brought to our chamber members as well. Maybe one last area is talk about mindset. We hear a lot about that today. And to be a business owner today in this climate, and it kind of dovetails a little bit with maybe what adjustments we've made in business, but what kind of a mindset do you feel is helpful for a solopreneur or an entrepreneur or business owner in these days?
I think the first thing that came to mind is adaptability. You have got to adapt. I think some sectors move quicker than others, but everything moves and it changes as time goes on. And both of our businesses are not the same businesses they were 10 or 20 years ago. And so we've had to learn to adapt and change and stay educated on what's coming. What are changes in the market? Where do I need to be next? And not just sitting on our laurels and saying, okay, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, business is good, but well, what's next? Because if you're not looking for that what's next and learning to adapt and change your business to that, all of a sudden you don't have a business because you're sitting there saying, oh, hey, I'm satisfied with where I'm at now.
Right.
And it's like, no, you need to always be looking ahead of, okay, business may be good now, but what your business is may not be the same next year or the year after. Right. So you need to change and adapt to the market and to the needs of businesses, the needs of clients, to make sure that you're always able to help them.
Yeah, that's really good. It's I think you mentioned a key point. That's something we try to do here in the mortgage business too, is stay ahead of the game. Read, study up, see what's happening, see what the experts are predicting, and do what we can to get ahead of it. Educate people. Hey, this is, if you want to be here, if you want to be in your home here, well, let's back it up and say 6 months from then in advance, here's the steps you're going to need to do. And being that we're in the market that we are now, here's some extra things you're going to want to consider. So I think that's so important. Like you said, being adaptable, being on top of it. And I think that's what helps set us apart from others that may be in our fields, right? Is, the proactivity that people come to love and appreciate. And there's so much on the internet today. People can go research their own things. They can, we've heard the term educated consumers. That can be a good thing, but they're also filled with a lot of nonsense. They're filled with a lot of, things that maybe untruths about our industries.
Well, so, YouTube's made everybody think they're an expert. Oh, I just YouTube it. And it's just like, well, there's a lot more to a lot of things than just watching a YouTube video.
Yeah. No, you brought an excellent point. And so I really appreciate how you take the time to educate your clients, how you take the time to, get ahead of the game with them. That's super important. And maybe just one last tip for our viewers here is when it comes to that cybersecurity or just protection in general. What tip can you provide for people today, business owners that have computers, which most of us all do? What are some things we can do to protect ourselves now?
I think one is a mindset of you're never too small to be attacked. I hear that a lot. Oh, I'm too small. They don't care about me. And where studies have shown it's the exact opposite. The small businesses are that low-hanging fruit. That they're easier to target because the larger businesses are spending money on security. A lot of small businesses, and some of them, they don't have the funds, but they're like, okay, I can deal with free antivirus or cheap antivirus, and I'm taken care of. They don't care about me. But statistics have shown that cyber criminals go after those small businesses like crazy because that's where the easy money is. So it's a mindset of, I am a target. What can I do to protect my business? And protecting your business is totally different than protecting your home computers. They're two different markets. I mean, you have a lot more data you're responsible for, especially if you're dealing with clients and you have their information. Now you have privacy laws. You have a lot of laws that come into play that you have to take that extra due diligence to protect not only your computers, but your clients' information. So that first one is just a mindset of, I'm not too small. I am a target. Yeah. And then the second is just a willingness to invest in good technology. Of just not relying on Windows Defender that comes for free on Microsoft's computers and everything, stuff like that. But looking at it that the computer's your last line of defense. So there's other technology out there protecting your email, protecting your users when they're on the internet. That's where most of the attacks are coming from nowadays. They're not coming from a virus on your computer. They're attacking through email. They're attacking on the web. So just having that technology in place that protects your business from those threats, and then having that mindset of like, hey, we are a target. We need to do everything we can to protect ourselves.
Yeah, no, that's good. I know you told me one time also be very careful about emails you open up, hey, you won this, or, King Hutuna Makata, whatever, from whatever has $1 million to give you, click here. Obviously, those are, phishing and emails that can get us in trouble, but there's some even more subtle ones these days. People are being, they're trying to be your friend, they're trying to sneak in on you, and those cautions, I used to, now I just delete all that stuff. I used to be a little curious. Let me just see what that is, and then, something blows up. I'm like, Michael, help! But no, we really appreciate that, your expertise. And Michael, we really appreciate kind of going back to the chamber for a moment too. You've been our past president as well. You've served so many years, and in a volunteer way, give back to the community, to our business community. And so we truly thank you for that as well. And
my pleasure.
Really, really glad to have you with us this morning. Again, Michael Leonard from Compunet Technologies, the owner and founder. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.